Welcome back to Doc Shows You How. This time we're making these $3 Rodians. It's about $3 for all four of these here, other than the Star Wars series. Let's get right to that table. Alright, start with some army men. These guys are about the right size, maybe a little tall. I'm not super concerned about scale. And then these Seahorses I found. Now I have done this hack once before, and since then kind of the back of my brain's been looking for Seahorse in about the right size, and I found this little bag, and there happened to be four of them, so that's what we're doing. So let's get going with the processing here. Yes, off with their heads. Okay, so I do want to thank those of you that engaged with the community comments earlier this week. Yeah, see, that resin's too tough for the snip, so we got to go out to the garage and use the Dremel. And here we go. There's the little head. You folks are getting better and better at trash bashing. You picked out that this was a Seahorse head right off the bat. And there were some fantastic comments after that. And so we're just going to move forward with doing the eyes here. There's those diamond dots. I find that those are more and more useful. Now, one thing that was pointed out here is that the Seahorse, the male carries the babies. And so the question was, are the warriors women? Let's steal some ears here for some plastic animals. And just using the tweezers to make sure that we can get those glued on. So I love the idea of all the warriors being women, kind of like lions in a pride. So we're going to use these toothpick tips here for the antenna. And again, using the tweezers to apply the glue and place them. The other comment that I thought was really fantastic was the suggestion that this group of four here were the family of Greedo looking for revenge on Solo. So here's how we're going to do the Mohawks, right? It's just the regular hole punch and some cereal box cardboard here, and just kind of trim it down and make sure that it fits pretty good there. And just some regular super glue to get that knocked on. So I have had this idea for a series for a little while called Head-Swap-Orama, where literally we're making aliens and beasts and stuff by just swapping out heads. If you've been watching some of my videos on beasts and stuff, you see that's something that I do quite a bit. I think he needs a haircut, so we're just going to fill that gap a little bit here because it's not a perfect match, of course. Standard old baking soda and super glue. Push it in all the crevices there. And then just trim that down to where you like it. And then we're just going to nip in all the little individual hair things. And then just kind of fluff it. Never thought I'd be a hairdresser for an alien. Guns! So here's just kind of a quickie little shot on how to upgrade the guns. We're going to do a little like tuning fork thing similar to the Mandalorian has, and we're just using some toothpicks to do that. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And this is a way to dress up the existing guns on army men so that it looks a little bit better. I think I dress this up a little bit more with some more little pieces I used one of my punches to do. Hey folks, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. I feel like you've probably been here before and you've seen me do this kind of stuff. I got a pretty big catalog of stuff I'm working on bringing forward, and pretty big catalog of existing videos. Go take a look through that. That stuff's pretty good too. Alright, so I need a big gun, and so we're going to do 2 toothpicks side by side, and we're going to repeat that. Now y'all see this glue tray I have here in the corner. If you want to see a video on what that is and that logic, comment below, let me know. I'd be glad to explain this little tool that I've kind of come up with here. So these toothpicks, or excuse me, Q-tips, not toothpicks, are the cheap ones. They're plastic, they're not great. I bought a thing of them for crafting. I'll probably never use all of them, but it gives you this wonderful teeny little tube. And here I'm using them as the ends of these barrels. just going to figure out how to put those on either side of this existing gun there, just so that it makes it look a little bit more Star Wars and a little bit less crappy Army Man. And of course, just make those two pieces the same size. And we're going to glue those to either side. But first, snip the tip, give it a little bit of a circumcision. Remember to sand things up, that helps everything glue better. Because now we're dealing with flat sides to flat sides, there's a teeny little like crevice between those toothpicks that's going to help seat that onto that plastic gun a little bit better here. And now we've got kind of a quad gun for this guy. Man, I've been trying to use zip ties in a build for a few videos now. This is the first time I actually found it appropriate. We're just going to dress this up a little bit more, make it look a little bit more beefy. End up putting 4 on here. I'm not sure I show you that here, but that just helps flesh out that big old gun. As I said before, I'm making 4 of these guys. So the army guys, the bag of army guys, I think was at the thrift store for a couple bucks. I do estimate the overall cost on this being right there around 75 cents each, giving me $3 for 4 of these things. And I do want to mention that in comparison to a Star Wars expansion set, which can be as much as 50 bucks, that's a great deal. That's a great price. Heaven forbid you're trying to buy some sort of expansion for a Games Workshop Warhammer thing. My God, those prices, I don't even want to talk about it. And then, so I do want to say something happened on the camera here. I didn't get footage of painting them, so there they are more or less painted. And based there. Use poker chips for the big guys here. We're just going to take a little bit of PVA or Elmer's glue here and get just the simplest little base on these things. There's lots of videos to show you how to do interesting basing. This is just kind of something quick and easy. Coffee. This is baked coffee. I've already used this coffee and then I put it on a cookie sheet and put it in the oven for a while to get it all dry. It's a wonderful cheap basing. There's a look at the finished guys there. If you want to see more aliens, comment aliens. Have a great day.